Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Hey, fellow patriots. You're listening to the Kevin Jackson Show on KJRadio.com. I'm your guest host, Liz Matory. Please follow me at Liz Matory. That's LizMatory at Facebook and Twitter. So I wanted to kick this last segment off. Let's talk about what it is to be a part of a sanctuary. As I said before, I live in Montgomery County. I'm from D.C., so both D.C. and Montgomery County, great, are the epicenter of the East Coast sanctuaries. Montgomery County, as I said, it actually, over the last 10 years, 15 years, it used to be that the African American community was the largest minority, but we have actually been surpassed by what they consider Latinos. Now, obviously, as you know, all Latinos are not illegal, and not all illegals are Latinos. But for our case here in Maryland, particularly in a place like Montgomery County, we actually have elected officials that actively recruit people from their home countries, specifically El Salvador. And actually, before I get into it, I had gone to Annapolis to lobby against creating a sanctuary state like they want to do now. And I actually got to meet this wonderful, if not that wonderful guy who represented the NAACP. And I was there, kind of taking a breather, talking to one of my friends who's an American of Chinese descent. And he had just asked me, he was like, Liz, why don't African Americans appreciate the competition that, illegals place, particularly amongst, Black people who have less education or didn't graduate high school and have lower skills. There's a direct competition there. And I'm like, yeah, exactly. That's definitely an issue that I personally have. But I always say that the electeds, particularly the people who are of African descent, they always talk about racial profiling. So all of a sudden, this guy from the NAACP comes up to me, and I had spoken before on record about how, as a new conservative, you're just going to make more people like me conservative when you continue to do what you do. And the guy was like, oh, let me tell you about what the conservatives did with El Salvador, and they're the ones who created MS-13 and the 18th Street Gang, which are the main ones that came. They're now transnational terrorist groups, according to our sheriffs here. And, they're talking about, Iran-Contra and all the different things that happened in Central America, what have you. All of this stuff happened in the 80s. Okay, a lot of the people like to kind of criticize current conservatives by what happened immediately in the 80s. And, for us, particularly now, the people who kind of lean libertarian, I know for a fact that we have gone way too far into the interests of other people. But do we need to make sure that we kind of figure out how to rebalance or allow for countries to balance themselves? I would argue El Salvador might not want to, because guess what? All of the people are here that they don't want. I mean, it's a really weird thing that if you think about it, when President Trump says what he says, some of the stuff is actually true. But I digress. We also, when we're talking about sanctuaries, situations, states, even any progressive issue, we have to be mindful of not using their terminology. They like to have us say undocumented. They're illegal aliens, people. Illegal alien is a legal term by our laws, just like the word immigrant is another separate, different legal term. An immigrant actually has a, purpose, meaning, and also permission to be here, and then go through the legal means in order to create citizenship for themselves, whether it's through, classes, application. There's a waiting line for many different countries across the world. All the more reason the people who are so anti-sanctuary, and particularly, the DACA stuff, the undocumented, and then they automatically get citizenship, are people who came here by legal means. Technically, it takes 24 years to come here from the Philippines, where my mom's from. So if you have to wait in Manila for 24 years to become a citizen, but you can be here in the United States and hang out and chill for 24 years. I mean, how bad of a system is that? I mean, if anything, we need to really make sure that we respect our system, specifically for the people who work so hard to follow our laws. A lot of the people who come from other areas, they have come from very corrupt systems. And funnily enough, when the children of some of the undocumenteds become, legitimized, or they are the citizens themselves, they actually register as independents because they see how the Democrat Party actually isn't Democrat. They actually, it reminds them of the socialistic societies that they fled from. So it's super funny, something that we need to be mindful of. They purposely are conflating the terms so as to confuse and make sure that we kind of forget that all these people are here unlawfully. That's a lot to deal with, and I just wanted to give us more context so that we can speak more to what's going on, because all of a sudden they're like, oh, you guys are racist, you're hate-filled. It's like, it's not even about that at all. It's about the fact that people here in this country encouraged hundreds and thousands, if not millions of people to flood our systems as if we would never pay attention. And now our systems are overran, especially our schools, and yes, our prison systems and our jailing. A lot of the people who are having issue with the undocumenteds, no, just kidding. They're the illegal aliens, especially the gang members and the unaccompanied minors, are law enforcement. The people who give sanctuary, like my county, they do not abide by the ICE detainers, and they release people before ICE gets there. So they've already, created a crime. They've probably raped someone, or, maimed someone, or stolen something, and they're held in the jails, but some of these places let them go. And they consistently, again, criminalize their communities. And it's really bad, and we gotta really, be mindful of the effect. I personally think it's really paternalism, to be honest. I know a lot of the progressives and stuff think that they can't take care of themselves and we have to protect these poor, innocent people. What happens if they're not innocent?
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Do you owe back taxes to the IRS or state? The secret to avoiding the IRS nightmare is to seek professional representation. My friends at Security Tax Associates provide the most cost-effective and ethical representation in the industry while helping to avoid seizures, levies, and wage garnishments. Security Tax Associates is here to ensure that the appropriate steps are taken to permanently eliminate any possibility of future tax burdens once and for all. For a free, no-obligation consultation, contact Security Tax Associates, 844-779-4177. That's 844-779-4177. 844-779-4177. Or visit them at securitytaxassociates.com.
Beth Cook Moranville, author of Closer Than Your Breath, a book of hope.
Hope, that wonderful, wonderful 4-letter word that you may feel completely out of. I wrote this book to give you great hope. It's not too late. If fetal position is an all too familiar place for you, I understand. If the next 60 seconds are too long, this book is for you. Wherever you are right now, whether you're dealing with divorce or death or sickness, take hope. You are going to make it through this pain. Don't roll your eyes. I've walked this road and I know it. The best is yet to come.
Closer Than Your Breath, a book of hope from author and speaker Beth Cook Moranville, can be found on Amazon.com or Kindle.com. For more information, visit closerthanyourBreath.com or on Facebook at Closer Than Your Breath.